Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the trading strategies as well as the market outlook from top market experts who will be joining in on the program with us. Let's start off with a recap. Indian equity markets continued their downward trajectory for the second consecutive session as of yesterday, and this is despite the positive global cues that we saw. The markets closed flat in a range-bound trading session with the Nifty ending right below 24,800 odd mark. Now the mid and the small caps, that's the broader markets, continued to outperform the benchmark indices, showcasing their resilience in an otherwise very volatile trading setup. Now, of course, it is the series expiry today, so we are given to understand that there could be some amount of volatility that we could be seeing. But remember, this expiry comes on the back of stable and positive global cues yet again. There's massive news developments as far as overnight trade are concerned for the US, and that is going to likely impact global markets, including India as well. Remember, it's the US Trade Court that's ruled on Trump tariffs, calling them illegal. That will be the key point of discussion today. Apart from that, there'll be Q4 earnings, IIP data, which has come mildly lower, FOMC minutes of the meeting, and of course the expiry, like I talked about, and the FII buying, along with positive global cues that will drive the mood in the markets today. Now, when we talk about the Wall Street had closed lower overnight as the investors digested corporate earnings and minutes from the latest Federal Reserve meeting. The S&P 500 settled about 0.5% lower in trade. The Nasdaq Composite dropped by 0.5%, and we of course saw the Dow Jones also slipping by 0.5%. But it was after the markets closed that we actually saw the US court ruling came in, and of course after that we've seen the US futures also rise by about 1 to 2 odd percent. Now the Federal Reserve officials noted that recent tariff hikes were larger and more widespread than expected, contributing to major uncertainty over trade policies and its potential economic impact, according to the minutes from the May FOMC meeting. Now, here policymakers described the level of uncertainty as unusually high, citing increased downside risks to employment and to growth, alongside heightened inflation risks as well. But what's going to be important to understand is what follows after the US Trade Court has now blocked President Donald Trump's from imposing the sweeping tariffs that he talked about on imports, citing and emergency powers of law. The three-judge panel at the New York-based U.S. Court of International Trade issued the ruling, and that called the Trump tariffs as illegal. They also said the development comes after several lawsuits that were filed against Trump, arguing that he has now exceeded his authority by implementing such tariffs as well. The ruling definitely serves as a setback to US President Donald Trump, who has repeatedly mentioned that the tariffs that he wants to implement would compel manufacturing to bring back factory jobs back to the US, also further claiming that the move would generate enough revenue to reduce the federal budget deficit as well. So now it remains to be seen what could be the next course of action, and we will be speaking to top market experts to understand more about it as well. Now, of course, apart from that, we did see that the Asian markets also were up this morning after that overnight US court ruling came in. Nikkei was up over 1%. Topics also added about 1% in the early trading session. Kospi was up by 1.07%. ASX 200 was up by 0.3% as well. It's a sea of green across the Asian markets, and the GIFT Nifty is also indicating to a positive start at 24,832 odd levels as well. Like I mentioned, it was the foreign institutional investors that were also the net buyers yesterday to the tune of 4,662 odd crore rupees, and similarly we also saw that the domestic institutional investors also bought shares worth about 7,911 crore rupees on the last but one day of the May series as well. Of course, we'll be also looking at a whole host of earnings that have been reported. Stocks like IRCTC will be in focus, that posted a 26% year-on-year increase in the consolidated net profit, reaching 358 odd crore rupees. And we'll also look at SAIL, that has posted 11% year-on-year increase in its net profit, reaching 1251 odd crore rupees. Its revenue also growing by about 4.9% to 29,316 crores. That will be important to look at. Deepak Nitrite will be important to look. 20% drop in the net profit here at 202 crores for fourth quarter, despite a 2% increase in its overall revenue at 2,180 crores. IndusInd Bank will be important to be watched out for yet again. Remember, the capital markets regulator, SEBI, has now issued an ex parte interim order against 5 senior executives of the bank, including the former CEO of Indus IndusInd Bank in connection with an insider trading case. So we'll have to see how the turmoil that has begun, from last couple of months will carry on IndusInd Bank and the stock price right there. We are awaiting to speak with our top guest, Mr. Vineet Bulinchkar, Head of Research at Ventura Securities, who's now with us on the program. Warm welcome to you, Vineet, and good to have you. Start off our conversation by understanding from you what exactly do you make of this fresh US court order calling Trump tariffs as illegal. Of course, there is still uncertainty about as to whether the US president and the administration will be also appealing against a court and probably putting their forward case. But at this point in time, does it seem like the tariffs may be pushed for longer?
Yeah, it would seem that way because it is affecting the lives of very large number of common persons in the US. Inflation is through the door. The run rate of the inflation is about 35 billion a month, which actually translates to about 3.5 trillion in per annum. And nobody will be able to bear that kind because the society is already bankrupt. They will have to borrow money, and that will mean that indirectly the fiscal deficit kind of goes up. So it's a defeating purpose, and I think Trump has gone too far and in a rather manic way behind this purpose of manufacture, and I think it needs to be rationalized a bit.
It needs to be rationalized a bit for sure. But terming or deeming global tariffs as illegal by the US Trade Court, these are stern statements. It's not like, one has to really look at it. There is no, conducive kind of statements that are coming in. It's more or less hawkish in that stance, and more or less very, very aggressive orders that are coming in, calling the tariffs itself as illegal, exceeding of the authority by US President Donald Trump by announcing such tariffs. Maybe some of them are also indicating that these were only announced to get negotiatory, conversations from various countries in favor of the US by calling these tariffs. How would you really now see, countries like India, probably looking at what could be ahead, because the deal with UK and China was already announced, but the rest of them are still lurking to see as to what will happen between these countries. So what will happen with India now?
I think India was still in the works. Nothing was announced. So to that extent, I think there will be a little bit of concerns with Indian players, but remains to be seen. There's too much of fluff there. There would be further action from the Trump team, countering them, and it's a little messy out there completely.
Absolutely. So let's actually come back to the domestic cues then, since global cues are going to be taking all of this into their stride. Let's talk about the flows, particularly into India. Yesterday again, there has been some buying from the FIIs. Large part of May has actually seen buying from the FIIs as well. We're already seeing that pre-open start on the positive side, 24,787. We'll come back to the pre-open action, but how do you see the foreign flows now towards India, Vineet?
I think foreign flows are going to be positive. There's very little, geography that can really be called as stratified against any kind of negative news. India remains to be the only growth market. We clock 6%, and there's no holding back on that. And interest rates in India are going to go down. So I think foreigners will come in, more money will flow in, and I think we're headed higher.
They headed higher. Okay, got that. When we talk about our biggest domestic cues that are coming in from the Q4 earnings, we are in the absolute last leg and will be curtains down by the end of this weekend or next. How would you really look at the earnings that have panned out so far? Anything that has really stood out for you particularly?
So I think that the chemical space looks very interesting. I think the chemical industry has kind of the certain uncertainty has gone away. Number one. Number two, infrastructure spending has been slightly slow, and Q1 might be even more worrisome. So that is something that we need to have a lookout on when the June quarter numbers start uh, flowing in. FMC is still been a mixed bag. Electricity, data centers, and select stocks remain very, very strong. I think we are going to see a lot of flows happening there. Banking, finance, especially NBFC are kind of coming into their own. So these are some of the sectors which look very, very interesting from the perspective of market action over the next few months.
Okay, fair point. Let's talk about IndusInd Bank. It's important to discuss that because now there is this SEBI action against insider trading on senior executives. Now we've actually seen the bank go through, period of uncertainty and of course downtick as well. I think the lowest that IndusInd Bank hit after the episode started and when the company itself came out and talked about discrepancies was around 640. How would you really look at an IndusInd Bank right now? Do you think large part of the negatives are already priced in?
I think it's good to know that at the fraud that has been perpetrated has been curtailed at around 10% of the net worth. Uh, and with things out of the way, I think this stock is now going to continuously be in some kind of a range until the new management comes in. There is a new CEO at helm, and the the normal business as usual starts. Uh, Till then, I think this stock is going to be sideways. I think the street is awaiting who would be the next person who would take on the reins and what kind of strategies he will follow for growth.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some of the stocks then, to find out how would you really look at these key stocks and sectors. We've actually seen the defense names pull up, very, very smartly in the last 2.5, 3 weeks odd, and it continues to do so. The kind of moves that we've seen on HL, BEL, shipbuilders like GRSE, even Cochin for that matter. The entire space seems to be in the thickest of action. It almost seems like the previous kind of a rally is now coming back. Are you cautious this time around on defense, or are you more confident this time?
I was cautious earlier, the previous rally, and then the markets came off. And now think I am very much gung ho on the defense story. What happens is after Operation Sindhu, India has shown an beyond capability, kind of fortification that has even left the US and the other big sophisticated armies out there that their things are lacking, especially after Operation Sindhu. And the way India did action in like 25 minutes, brought its enemy on the knees, tells you the grand power of our technology. So what is happening is that not only is India uh, getting Atmanirbhar, but the export opportunity is opening up. We've already tied up with around 100 country exports we have. And two things, are very, very important to understand is that the American purchases are very expensive. So not many militaries go for them. Russian purchases are avoided because America sanctions them. And the rest of the Europe and Israel are at war. These are the major uh, manufacturers globally. And that puts India in good stead with its armaments and with its ammo now required globally because, internationally, everyone is going to now kind of build up on their defense allocations. Especially when an international power comes down, the conflicts go up in the society. And as the conflicts go up, there will be requirement you know, for ammo, military, etc. And India is very, very sweetly positioned to build on that.
Okay, fair point. That's as far as the defense names are concerned. We will just be looking at the market settling in the pre-open trade in a minute from now. 24,828 is with us. We need looking at the kind of markets and how the global setup is changing now. What are the chances you're penciling on that we can actually inch back to our erstwhile high of 26,277 sooner rather than later?
So, you know what? I think on a technical aspect, this
Hmm.
25,000 has proven to be a little like a place from where we've been seeing a lot of, you know, lot of throwback coming in,
Yeah.
and it happens very abruptly. So, you know, I think we need to take out those levels first. Once that take level is taken out, I think beyond 25 100, it's a blue sky, and we could then move very rapidly to 26,000.
Okay, got that. The pre-open settles in the positive, 24,825 on the Nifty. All the sectors seem to be opening higher in trade. So after 2 to 3 days of cuts, we can actually finally see some signs of green emerge. Metals could be opening about 0.8% higher. That's a space to watch. IT could also be inching up 0.8% higher. PSU banks, realty, broader markets could continue their upward momentum. All the sectors seem to be opening up. On the top movers, you could actually find JSW Steel, Tata Motors, Wipro, Adani Enterprises as some of the pockets of the stocks that could be up and about. On the lower end, you could still see some weakness, say on our Tata Consumer Products, for instance, Ultratech Cement that was reeling under some pressure. But that's how the pre-open trade is. Let's actually look at some of the stocks that we are looking at. IndusInd Bank. Let's pull up that one to see how the pre-open has settled there. And let's also pull up some of the other stocks within the results pack that we have to look at. IRCTC, for instance, we have to look at that one. 26% of an increase on the consolidated net profit, reaching 358 crores. Sale from the metal pack, 11% uptick on the net profit and about 5% uptick on the revenue front. Deepak Nitrite, a drop on the revenue front and the profitability as well. We can also look at Coal India, that's actually come with a preferred bidder tag now for Auranga Revtipur graphite block that's been located in Chhattisgarh. That could be opening higher. You can see some of those stocks already indicating a positive stance based on the results. Natco Pharma, solid performance in fourth quarter, net profit increasing by 5%, revenue rising by 16%, EBITDA reaching 548 crores. Although the profit margins did see a minor decline, sipping to 44.89% from 46.5%. Let's discuss the pharma space and Natco Pharma particularly. This is one stock that we've discussed with you, Vinitji, in the past as well. How are the earnings coming in and what would your fresh approach be?
I think we would be a little bit tentative on the stock right now. Would want to see how the numbers come, uh, and especially with remdesivir. But after that, I think we can take a fresh call after the investors' call is done with.
Okay, got that. Let's look at some of the other stocks. We've discussed defense, but railways. Anything looks interesting to you with that fresh move or bout of momentum that we are seeing across the board, sir?
I think all those Kavach players look very well placed. New orders will come in. So from a 25 perspective, the Kavach players look very, very well placed to gain from that.
Okay, got that. Let's also figure out from you what exactly would your stance be when it comes to specifically the metals pack. Jeffries today has come out with a report. It says they are positive on the Indian steel as companies are offering 8 to 10% volume CAGR over FY25 to estimated FY27 estimated earnings, with safeguard duty adding to the profitability. They're also looking at Asian conversion spread is 30% below the long-term average, and they also believe that favorable risk reward for owning steel stocks at this point in time looks to be on the positive trajectory. How would you look at metals? Any specific stocks that you bet on?
I think metals are in a very reasonable spot. You know, Tata Steel is in uh, on the higher side since 26,000, so there's a lot of strength out there. Sale looks very, very interesting. And Jindal Stainless could be one of the bigger names that could outperform the markets.
Okay, Jindal Steel, stainless steel, we'll definitely look at that stock as well, could be outperforming in the markets within the metals pack. Let's also welcome Mitesh Panjal on the conversation with us. He's going to be tracking the technicals for us today. Warm welcome. Good morning to you, Mitesh ji. Good to have you yet again with us. Tell us, what's your fresh expectation on the markets? It was a touch and go on 25,000. We are sitting on the expiry day today. What's the strategy you're advising traders?
Yeah, so certain stocks on. Good morning, Sakshi. Good morning to all the viewers. Good morning to the panelists. Basically, the lower end of the range is intact as far as Nifty is concerned. So I think we are of the view that this is a healthy correction, a mild correction in the ongoing rally, and we will see a significant upside. What we are expecting is a new high towards Diwali. That's what we have advocated earlier also. Interesting thing is to look at the entire mid cap and small cap basket. And what we see in mid cap and small cap basket is that there are certain stocks which are looking pretty promising. For an example, we are very bullish from the short to medium term perspective on Praj Industries. After that, we are also bullish on ITI. After that, we are also bullish on Finolex Industries and RK Forging. So Ramakrishna Forging. So I think these are the few stocks where I think the momentum is building up on the daily and the hourly chart, and we are of the view that stock likely to attract buying interest and deliver good return over the next 10 to 15 trading sessions.
Okay, fair point. But how do you see the expiry panning out today? What is the level on the Nifty and the Nifty Bank that you see today?
As far as expiry is concerned, on the Nifty, we are of the view that expiry will be somewhere around 25,000. So I think what we are expecting today is around 1% of gain on the indices, that is on Nifty. Between 24,900, 25,000 is what we are expecting the Nifty should close today. As far as Bank Nifty is concerned, again, within the Bank Nifty, what we are expecting today is 55,800 around. So I think 400 points of an upside in Bank Nifty is likely, and 230, 300 points of an upside in Nifty is likely. So the expiry will end between 24,500, 25,000 as far as Nifty is concerned. And as far as Bank Nifty is concerned, it is between 55,800 to 56,000.
Got it. 100 points higher on the Nifty is what the starting is, 24,858 at this point in time. The Nifty Bank is also opening about 0.4% up in trade. All the sectors are up and about in the morning first tick that we are seeing. Metals and IT up by 1% each. These are the top movers. PSU banks up 0.5%. Real estate up 0.5%. Broader markets, both small caps and mid caps up by 0.4% each. You're looking at pharma up by 0.4% as well. India VIX is down by 4% at 17.2. So that's a comfortable zone to really look at. And therefore, you can actually see a wide participation coming in from the sectors across the board. Since IT is now climbing up 1% higher, you can clearly see the contribution in the beginning of the markets today is being seen from the large cap heavyweight IT stocks like Infosys, 1.7% higher at 1597. HCL Technology is also among the top movers. Then you have metal space stocks like JSW and Tata. You also have Wipro from the IT pack, but autos are also driving up. You can see Bajaj Auto, Tata Motors also inching higher in trade. On the Nifty, the stocks that are still lower, and there are just about 5-6 stocks that are lower. Tata Consumer Products 0.9% down. Eicher Motors is not participating in the auto rally. Bajaj Finance is just about 0.25% down. HDFC Life, after that yesterday's move, is seeing some profits off the table. So just about handful of 4-5 stocks that are down. Jindal Stainless, as was marked by Vineet ji, is up by about 3%. Top mover in the F&O space. Remember, there's also a Jeffries initiation on the company as well. That's also pulling up the stock. Deepak Nitrite post earnings 3% higher. LTI Mindtree Cummins also post earnings about 2.2% higher in the F&O space today. Let's look at the PSU stocks. IRCTC post earnings 1.5% higher. You have NMDC, Power Grid, ONGC, BHEL, NHPC also inching up in trade right now. Let's look at the broadest index. We have lots of stocks that are flying up. in train right now. Vito switchgears is up by 11% today. Look at names like Apollo Microsystems that continues its rally right from the time the earnings came in, 7% up in trade. ITI Limited, third or fourth session in a row when there is a strong move, 7% higher. We also heard from Mitesh talking about it. Then Nahar spinning. Then Unimech Aerospace is another one that's been moving up since yesterday. You also have names like Atlas Cycles, Shanti Overseas, that's up and about, Asian Hotels, Aban Offshore, as some such stocks within the broadest index that are up and about. Mitesh ji, how do you see the opening?
Yeah, opening so far so good. I think throughout the day the strength will get built up as far as Nifty and Bank Nifty is concerned. 28,872 is where we are trading. I think 25,000 is here to stay. Probably in the second half we'll see the rally. So even again today as of now with a stop of 24,800, one can go long with a 70 point to make 120, 130 point of upside. Bank Nifty is also looking promising. I think in the second half we may see a strong participation from the private banks as well as from the PSU leader SBI. So I think yes, net so far so good. Probably we are inching higher and hope to close the expiry at a desired level of 25,000 and 55,800.
Got it. Vineet ji, I'm coming to you with the view on IT space right now. 1.3% higher. IT stocks are inching up again with that some signs of relief coming in from the courts on the US trade front. What's your expectation on the IT stocks right now, sir?
Great prices and valuations to exit the markets in IT.
Exit the
That's
market.
the view. Continue to remain bearish. Have been personally using, getting into this AI space. The kind of job losses that are going to abound is going to be uncanny. And, it's going to have a effect on society of the US drastically, also globally. And I think the services sectors will be hit the most. And I think the services business is where software services sits in. And I think unless they are able to rapidly reinvent themselves, replace their existing services business with more products, IT related, and the fast moving segments of the market, they're going to be in for trouble. Second thing is, the US concentration is the highest, and within US, the highest concentration is in the BFSI space, and BFSI space is setting up for some very, very nasty trends going out ahead in the next 3 to 6 months.
Okay, got that. I hope, we'll get this other perspective out on a chunk as well so that our viewers can definitely look at it as to what are the key factors that could be seen as big headwinds for the sector at large. Technically speaking, Mitesh, would you look at IT stocks today?
Yeah, so today and for some time I will. And the reason is that it's a delicate bounce. So probably as a swing trader, I will definitely look at Oracle Finance. I will definitely look at TCS. I'll definitely look at KPIT Technology. So entire IT pack from our side is a bit of a contra view from the fundamental side of it. We are of the view that this is an excellent time to accumulate at the lower level. And what we are talking about, a swing trade can get converted into a trend reversal. So as of now, the buying and the participation is only from the viewpoint of a swing trade. And if the confirmation gets cleared on the weekly and monthly chart, then probably we can head out for a trend reversal as well. Sakshi, we all know that when the trend will start, nobody will be able to catch that. So the best to play the trend is to be in the trend. So try to be in this space with a strict stop losses. We are of the view that tide will turn sooner than later.
Okay, so that's the beauty of the markets. You can actually see the perspectives, varying perspectives, different lenses to look at the same sector at the same time. And I hope we put that both out for our viewers to really look at and decide for themselves. Let's look at some of the other spaces. Broader markets is something that I wanted to come to. Natco, of course, is opening 6.5% higher post those earnings. IFCI, Zen Technologies, ITI, IDBI Bank, GRSC, Zensar Tech, Sonata Software, Birla Soft. So many of these stocks within the broader markets that are inching up. Vineet ji, how are you looking at the broader markets, mid and small caps, so far they've been showing some resilience, but is it here to stay? Are the valuations comfortable? What is the ideal way that one should be looking at mid and small caps and names which have been flying away?
I think, it's the defense stocks which have been pulling everything up.
Yeah.
Anything with the, three letters DEF have been definitely been on the buying list. So, that is going to be the trend. But, I'm expecting some kind of correction coming in the near term. So, I would be a little skeptical to buy into this market unless and until it actually makes efforts to take out 25,000.
Okay, got that. Then apart from this, let's also understand from you, Vinayji, where else do you find value in this market for somebody who may be playing the rally from now till hopes of 26,277? Which are the pockets that one should incrementally put their fresh funds in now?
So, any decline that comes, we should be looking to get into the FMCG space. It's a defensive. Look at the pharma space. Again, the trade is long defensives minus the IT pack.
Okay. Okay, got that. How about the IPO space, Vinayji? Have you been looking at the rush that's again begun on the D Street? Borana, Bellrise came in, they also listed at slight positives as well. Then we have Leela Hotels, Schloss Bangalore, that is. So many others that have opened, Aegis, Wopac, many others, Skoda Tubes have opened as well, Prostam. How are you looking at these fresh wave of IPOs that have really come in?
I think you should look at Aegis Wopac. It clearly stands out as a great business from a great management franchise. I think that they're going to do extremely well over a long-term period. If you've got allocation, if you've got allotment, hold on to them. I believe that this company can scale stellar heights going ahead.
Okay, Aegis Wopac is the stock that you should be looking at as far as the IPO space is concerned. From all of them, Vineet is positive on that. We'll definitely keep that in focus and bring you other perspectives on that as well. Miteshji, let's come to you as well. Apart from IT and metals, where else are you seeing some momentum build up?
I think again the Garden Rich shipbuilders, Muscat Dock are the favorite picks right now. So I think again the defense, so-called defense, is coming back on the surface. Apart from steel, what you have discussed in the morning, that is also looking pretty interesting right now. Stocks like BEML is also looking interesting. So I think these are the spaces which are looking interesting right now, Sakshi.
Okay, fair point. I hope we have noted down those all stocks at this point. I think Trent is now pulling up in trade as well. IT, some more names are getting added onto the list, Tech Mahindra. But some sectors have now slipped within the 10 minutes of trade. You can see real estate, FMCG, oil and gas, consumer durables that have now slipped slightly in the trade at this point in time. Real estate sector, Vinitji, how are you looking at it at this point in time? There are brokerage houses reports, Morgan Stanley, I believe, came out with the report saying that they still find stability in this sector. Prices are looking attractive at this point in time for some stocks. How would you look at real estate?
Real estate and micro markets of Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune are to be completely avoided. I believe that they are going to catch the cold from the thing that is going to come out of the US. These segments are mostly driven by people who are dependent on international trade, especially the IT sector. And we are going to see significant, maybe 5 to 7% price correction in these markets. So I think there's a lot of fluff out there and should be avoiding those particular sectors.
Okay, got that. What about the banking space, Vinayji? The clear consensus that emerged right from the beginning of this new year up until the half, year that we are inching towards. Banks have been clearly, in the winning zone. They have supported the recovery in the rally. Large private sector banks, ICICI, HDFC, fresh highs on many as well. NBFCs have pulled up, and now we are finally seeing some signs come back, or even on PSU banks. So, what's your fresh approach on the banking, financials and PSUs?
So I think the PSU banks are the better uh, pack to be in because the
Okay.
valuations are very, very comfortable. We have good growth coming in, and as I said, interest rates could come down a bit. So, but right now, what I would be watching for is to see whether India is able to, the world is rather able to kind of get over this 25,000 psychological barrier before committing any fresh funds. Right now, my stance would be to book profit on positions and take a seat back. And as I believe that we are near some kind of a midterm correction, so the view is of that order.
Okay, got that. Prestige Estates is pulling up today within the real estate pack as well. We're looking at several others that are also moving up. We also have within the IT pack now large and mid caps also now pulling up in trade. Say, for instance, you have Birla Soft that's pulling up in trade as well. KPIT Technologies that had started its move continues. Persistent is also up and about within the IT pack. Metals, we have JSW Steel. We have a lot of them that are moving up in trades today. Tata Steel, metals pack as a whole, just like how Mitesh also pointed out that they are looking good at this point in time. Vinit ji, if I have to ask you right in the end, apart from IT, is there any other pocket that you are avoiding?
Um I think that is one segment which should be avoided. But apart from that, I think nothing is too much impacted by what is happening. Uh, Maybe the large caps look to be a little on the expensive side for the time being. So I would even look at corrections to get into the market before doing anything else.
Got it. What about Adani stocks, sir? We are seeing some uptick, post earnings on the Adani stocks as well. Are you
Yeah,
fresh?
so
Yeah.
we are very bullish on that pack, with long-term story. But if you've seen, they've not really participated in the boom. They have been on the higher side. They're doing really well. Adani Enterprise, uh, Adani Ports, Green, they all look very, very good. But somehow there is price action is not supporting our theme. So currently, as I said, just hold back, just wait for the market to digest all the gains that they've had, let it correct a bit. You know, Border tensions are also spiraling out. India is conducting uh, mock drills, and the enemy is not learning from the bruised nose that they've got from the last time. So uh, just there could be something uh, negative that happens. So good to take your profits and get back in with a kind of a fresh view once these things settle down.
Fair point. Okay. Thank you so much, Viniji, for being with us on the show, helping us with your insights. And hope you have a good time till the time we see you next very soon on another edition of Market Today to seek more insights from you on the markets.
Thank you so much.
All right, viewers, we'll continue our conversation with Mitesh now. Mitesh ji, ये बताइए, first 15 minutes of the candle is out. What is it that stands out for you?
So far, so good. I think PSUs are coming back, and the real estate is also coming back. So DLF, what we like for the intraday purpose with a stop of
Yeah.
780, can go long at 785 for the potential target of 790, 795 for the day. Eternal Zomato is looking good at 227 with a start of 220. One can go long for a swing trading for a day or two for the potential target of 235, 240. And MCX, after a long period of time, at 6540 is also looking promising. The stop of 6500 for the potential target of 6650, 6700 for 2 days. So these are the three stocks in the first 15 days which are looking pretty promising.
Okay, got that. We'll keep an eye out on that. Since you're talking about the exchange related story, I wanted to also discuss BSE with you, sir. How are you looking at BSE after the bonus split has taken place? And why I wanted to also bring in is because a lot of people are now getting confused since there is a surging buzz on the upcoming NSE IPO. SEBI chairperson himself has talked about how they are resolving the issues with NSE and how the IPO could be on track. Now, should one save money for NSE IPO or should one go with the exchange related stocks that are already listed like a BSE or an MCX, maybe even the other capital market stories?
Yeah, so the idea again, I mean, technically is that when you play a stock, you play with a strict stop loss, and from the fundamental viewpoint, it is advisable to diversify. So I think you can invest in CAMS, you can invest in MCX, if you can invest in BSE as well. But technically speaking, BSE is even after the corporate effect of bonus and split is looking pretty interesting at 24260 or 2426. One can go long with a stop of 2400 Sakshi for the potential target of 2500, 2600 in the next 15 to 20 days. So yes, BSE is looking attractive even after the corporate effect at the current level.
Okay, got that. I hope this has also helped all our viewers out with a viewpoint there. Let's look at some of the other stocks. Okay, Trent, let's take a view on that one. 1.5% higher, 5,643. Is there a case to invest afresh?
Absolutely. I think these are the stories which have, because of the momentum has gone upside, but now they have corrected significantly and available at an attractive time. But actually, one thing which needs to be taken care is that you won't see again those phenomenal runs in a short period of time. So stocks will consolidate, stock will may enter into a correction, but over a period of time, you will make monies in a stock like BSE, in a stock like Trend. So yes, at the current level, Trend is one can go long in Trend at 5642 with a stop of 5600 for the potential target of 5700, 5800. The time frame would be at least 7 to 10 trading sessions.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as Trent is concerned. We are seeing realty, FMCG, PSU banks, oil and gas, financial services, and consumer durables under some pressure. But you can actually see IT, metals, broader markets, private banks, auto, pharma up and about in trade. Within the pharma story, Mitesh, which are the top stocks which are coming on top of your trading list?
I think cash market segment stock, which you have discussed in the morning, is already our recommendation before a week or so. So
Okay,
Natco Pharma is looking pretty interesting.
okay.
Reason being is that after a strong sell-off, the stock has spent quality time in consolidation and now up and running. So Natco at the current level at 884, one can go long with a stop loss of 850. Here is a deep stop loss because the time frame is little bit big. So with a stop of 850, one can go long in Natco Pharma for the potential target of 950 and 1000. The time frame will be 10 to 15 trading sessions.
Okay, got that. I hope this has helped you out. Okay, I wanted to discuss Eternal, that Zomato with you. It's coming up now 1% higher at 226. Remember, last couple of sessions, we've actually seen the stock reel under some pressure. There were several factors behind the fall that we recently saw. One was the MSCI and the FTSE reduction in the weightage. Also, a capping of the foreign ownership at 49.5% that the shareholder approval came for. All of this was leading to expectation of huge amounts of outflow from the stock of funds as well. That led to some pressure on Zomato. Now at 227, how do you see Zomato, within the trading universe?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking pretty interesting. That is what our calls actually before 10, 15 minutes or so that one
Yeah.
can go eternal with a stop of 220 for the potential target of 235, 240. And not only that, even delivery is looking good at 360. Same chart patterns actually. Even delivery at 361 is looking pretty interesting. With a stop of 350, one can go long in delivery for a potential target of 370, 380 in next 1 to 2 days. So swing trade is available in both eternal as well as in delivery as well.
Okay, got that. I hope this has also answered your question well. Let's take another one then. We will look at some stocks that are moving up in trade in the Nifty 500 basket yet again. You have Insecticides India, Avanti Feeds, that's pulling up in trade. IFB Agro Industries is moving up in trade as well. We've discussed already MMTC, ITI, those are moving up. We can take one view from Mitesh also on that in a bit. Tatva Chintan Pharma is another one that's moving up in trade right now. Castrol is moving up. There is this news buzz on Castrol too, which I will just share with all our viewers in a bit to take a view. But let me just pull up or just discuss with Mitesh on the monsoon related stories. Since monsoons have advanced pretty much earlier than expected, I think the earliest onset in the last 16 years that have been seen. Help us understand, does it make favorable for some stocks within fertilizers, chemicals, monsoon related stories?
Yeah, so as you're speaking, Sakshi, the favorite sector which we have discussed earlier is making a new high. So Deepak Fertilizer is making a new high at
Yes.
1469. So I think we have discussed this earlier as well, that 2025 is all about commodity, be it
Yes.
agri or metal or a precious. So we continue our stand positively on the entire agri pack. So I think we like Deepak Fertilizer, we like Coromandel. Recently, there is a good correction in Chambal Fertilizer. We like that as well. So this is the theme which we like pretty much right now. Apart from that, Sakshi, I would like to discuss two more stocks, where probably three more stocks, where probably majority of the retail participants might have a position which are now in the momentum. If you look at the entire run of IFCI, it is a mind-boggling. In a very short period of time, IFCI has made, I think, 30 to 40% return. Same is the case with MMTC. So MMTC has also made a significant gain in last few trading sessions, and now Infibeam Avenue is also start making gains. So I think these are the three small ticket size stocks where our strong buying, delivery based momentum buying is happening at the lower level. If you have a buy already a buy position in these stocks, we request all retailers and viewers to remain intact in these stocks. If you don't, you can add on as of now. A reason being is very simple, that after a very strong consolidation period, the stocks are coming up on the higher time frame. So the stock, all the three stocks have qualified both on monthly and quarterly charts, which is very rare, right? So I think one should go and build a position in these three stocks for the short to medium term perspective. Now, the definition here of short to medium term is from 3 months to 6 months.
Okay, got that. Let's discuss one more time IndusInd Bank. The stock is definitely under slight pressure after that news flow that has come in, that SEBI has now barred the executives and senior executives from trading in the securities market up until next time that the initiation is done. It recovered from the earlier low of 805 odd levels that we saw, 810 right now, 0.6% higher. This is despite that we have JP Morgan, which has downgraded IndusInd Bank to underweight from its earlier rating of neutral. The brokerage has also cut its target price by half to 550 from its earlier target of 1100. The stock, however, is still up. Mitesh, how are you guiding investors, clients who may be calling you to understand? Because there are these two types of conversations that are going on. One, that such a large bank, yes, there has been a problem, but of course we've also seen a low of 640, and from there on seems like large part of negative is discounted. But how do you advise clients to move with IndusInd Bank right now?
Okay, so Sakshi is a house view, and after spending 2 decades in this industry, probably what market taught us is this: that whenever there is any integrity or corporate issue within any group or a stock, advisable to completely sell off and get out of it. There are two reasons. First, there is no dearth of any good opportunities in the market, so you will get same opportunities somewhere else. And second, unless and until the clarity comes in, it is too late to exit. So once the alarm bell rings, advisable to exit. So as of now, as far as IndusInd Bank is concerned, it's a complete exit. Even if you are holding at this point of time, book the loss and exit it, because parallelly you can shift the entire amount into PSUs like PNB or Canara Bank, Union Bank of India, State Bank of India, kind of a banks where there is a possibilities of making good return with a good clarity. So as a house, we are very clear that whenever any corporate issue comes up in any group per se or in any stocks, we completely avoid that.
Okay, got that. We'll look at some of the other spaces then. If we can pull up for Mitesh to really help us understand. Let's look at the NBFC space, again, an interesting one. Motilal Oswal is up by 2.5%. Nuvama is up by 1.8% as well. Brokerage houses also coming out with their updates on Nuvama. Canfin Home, Sundaram Finance, IFL Finance, all of them are pulling up. Geojit is also up and about in trade. We've discussed the private and the PSU stocks. How about NBFCs and broking spaces today, Mitish?
Yeah, so as far as the broking spaces are concerned, I think we are upbeat on the broking space. We like Angel, we like Motilal Oswal. But
Okay.
as far as NBFC is concerned, yes, there are strong attractions in the NBFC as well. And if you particularly look at probably, I think we like within finance NBFC, two stocks, that is Bajaj Finance and Geo Finance. I think both the stocks have spent quality time in consolidation. They have given some false breakout on both daily and hourly chart. But I think that now the momentum is coming up in which the stocks are likely to outperform in the near term. So as far as NBFC space is concerned, Bajaj Finance and Geo Financial Services are the two preferred picks.
Okay, got that. We'll definitely keep an eye out on that as well. Let's also look at some of the other packs that we can understand from Mitesh. Mitesh, consumer durables have been lagging. You did say that, probably FMCG is something that we could look at. But what about consumer durables at large? They haven't really performed to the T this time around, especially with early monsoon showers coming in. Probably the summer demand may not be as huge as earlier for maybe air conditioners, refrigerators. How would you really look at consumer durables theme as a whole?
So again, Sakshi, you rightly pointed out there is no buzz in this theme. I mean, even if I talk about the
Yeah.
household and personal products like, for example, Dabur or a Gillette, Imami or Jyoti Lab, Safari Industries for that matter, or Sila Foam for that matter, is really not picking up. So I think we need to wait and watch. But compared to that, I think hotel and resort sector is moving pretty strongly. So if you look at the Indian hotels or EIH or Lemon Tree, probably going forward, even also Mahindra Holiday Resorts, the momentum will pick up in this space as compared to the consumer durables. So I think hotel and hospitals are looking pretty interesting as a proxy play as compared to
Yeah.
the consumer durables.
Absolutely. And you rightly talked about the hotel space, with Leela Hotels coming in, again, the questions are emerging whether one should go for the existing hotel space stocks, which have also performed very well in their own rallies. IHCL, Lemon Tree, we've seen how they have been key favorites of traders and investors at large. Leela Hotels, there is a big question mark on the valuations that they are seeking at this point in time, with the existing basket, trading at much lesser multiples. How would you look at the hotel space, and top three favorite stocks of yours, what would those be?
So as far as hotel space is concerned, I think Sakshi, you know it better than me because you spend a lot of time in reading the fundamental things. I think it's all about on occupancy. What we read is just charts, right?
Yes.
And what is available on chart is three top stocks. First is the Indian hotels, where there is no issue of liquidity as well. You can buy as much as you can. Second is again within the small pocket, what is looking pretty interesting, or a high beta counter, what we call in a technical terminology is a lemon tree. And third, we are of the view that I think one should go with Mahindra Holiday and Resort. I think these are the three top bets as of now.
Okay, got that. I hope this has also helped all our viewers out in understanding how does one really go forward with the, hotel and hospitality space as well. Okay, first half an hour of the candle is out. Mitesh, anything that you'd like to suggest here? We are back above 24,800 mark, 56 points higher on the expiry day. What should be the strategy?
Yeah, again, as I said, any dip should be bought into. Today we see expiry between 24,900, 25,000.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, MNC stocks within the FNO is buzzing, Sakshi. So if you look at ABB, a very slow mover, from 5,800, 5,900, the stock is now at 6,042. Swing trade is available with a stop of 6,000 for the potential target of 6,100, 6,150. Time frame 1 to 2 days. So ABB is looking interesting. Even now, I think there is a buzz taking place in Maruti as well. So at
Okay.
366, Maruti is looking pretty promising. It's hitting a new high with a stop of 12,250 for a swing trade of 1 to 2 days. One can go long for the potential target of 12,500. So both ABB and Maruti is looking interesting after spending 30 minutes of trade.
Okay. What about Tata Motors? How are you playing that story?
Again, see, in Tata Motors, advisable not to guess the day-to-day moves because that will disappoint you. So advisable to buy it and lock it for the next 1 year. So you can buy this two stocks. I think BAIL is also having the same chart pattern. So in case of a BAIL as well, if you're doing the daily trading or probably the swing trade, you will disappoint. Out of 10 trades, 7 trades will disappoint you. So better to buy these two stocks, Tata Motor and BAIL, and just forget it for the next 1 day. Absolutely keep the deeper stop loss in place.
Okay, got that. Well, we will thank you then, Mitesh, for being with us in the morning edition today. It's always a pleasure to have you with us with the clarity of the vision that you have on the markets and the thought process on various stocks and sectors. It really benefits out all of our viewers. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time with us.
Thank you, Sakshi. Have a good day.
You too. All right, viewers, we'll start wrapping up the morning edition. Well, so far so good as what Mitesh has termed the markets to be. 40 points higher on the Nifty as far as the expiry session is concerned. 24,792 right now. IT, metals, auto, pharma, broader markets and private banks. These are the pockets that are actually holding up into some gains. Trent is now moved to the top spot, 2% higher at 5661. JSW Steel, Infosys, Eternal, top 4 movers on the trade. On the downside, you have names like Tata Consumer Products, Bajaj Twins, Bajaj Finserv and Finance are now down. Jio Finance is seeing some cut. Shriram Finance. So some NBFC pressure that's coming in. HDFC Life has again come under pressure today. Real estate, you can actually see some stocks that are buzzing like Prestige Estates, but otherwise the index is down in trade. When we look at the broader markets, of course, so many names now. Castrol is at 4.5 or 4.8% higher in trade. And like I was mentioning for all our viewers, that there is this entire buzz that the stake is going to be really looked at. There are some takers at this point in time, including Reliance Industries as well. So we'll have to just look at how that buzz really plays out. We'll also look at Kernex Microsystem that's been consistently up and about 5% higher. Zen Technologies, again a very strong name, has been consistently moving up. State Trading Corporation is up in trade as well. MMTC, Shivam Autotech, you have Vito Switchcares, IFB Agro, so many names that are rallying and buzzing in trade. So a stock-specific action that continues on the expiry session as well. We'll leave you at that, but do stay tuned on Business Today Television as throughout the course of the day. We'll get you top market voices, guide you through the market moves as far as the strategies are concerned. And of course, daily calls at 12 noon that will answer all your stock-related queries. I'll be back for that. Stay tuned.